What's up, Low Gang?
What's up, Tyler?
What's up, people out there? Welcome back to the big show.
Where are we right now?
Where are we? Well, this is a very special place for us. We're in Emeryville, technically still, or we're in Richmond. That's right,
Richmond, California.
That's right. It's been a long time since I've been out here. We're on top of a building. Those of you watching at home can see that. And this used to be, inside this building used to be the studio that Logan and I rented for a long time.
And then we worked out it for a couple years and wrote a bunch of jams. But we're here today to debut a new one, but an oldie.
An oldie, but a goodie. It's new to you.
It's new
out
to you.
There.
Yeah.
So we this place is very special to us. So, what's this song called, Logan?
This song's called "Can of Worms."
We should roll it.
Roll it.
Digging my grave with this haircut, so out of town. Cold on the street, but it's hot in the underground. Living like stars in corner bars and nowhere else. Oh well. Think about how it'll be when we find ourselves. Skate eyes on my feet. I've been chasing this dream like a greyhound. Don't let me give it away now. Don't let me give it away. Picking up speed like a wave now.
That one has been a long time coming.
Oh my God, that has been a long time. It's not the longest one, but that one feels like the longest one somehow.
Longest, and what do you mean by longest?
Just the amount of time we've been spending with this song. How long we've had it, you know? How long have we had this track?
We've been working on this song for pretty consistently for the last handful of years. I mean, maybe like 4 years or 3 years or something.
Yeah.
Not that it's been the only thing we've been doing, but it's been one that has gone through and through.
It's been through the gauntlet. It's been through the ropes. It's taken the journey.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk a little bit about this place. Let's talk a little bit about this place. I think there's something really important that has to be mentioned.
Give a visual breakdown of where we are right now.
Okay, well, for those who aren't watching right now, basically it's a gorgeous panoramic view on the rooftop in Richmond of a big studio. One of the biggest studios in the Bay right now.
It's a little warehousey.
It's a little warehousey. You wouldn't know it from looking on the outside, but I mean, on the inside, it's cush as heck.
Just the area right now. There's a school that's been abandoned for the last 20
Is
years.
that a school?
Yeah.
I thought that was a chemical treatment plant.
I thought it was a school, and then there's a chemical treatment plant.
Oh, those are two vastly different things.
Maybe they're creating children over there.
Maybe that's where babies come from.
Maybe they're creating mutants.
I never figured that out. Okay, so if you aren't watching this, there's the Bay to my right, Logan's left. Beautiful view of the Bay. To the left of my left, Logan's right, is El Cerrito's over there. The hills are over there. Richmond Hills are over there.
This is all in California.
This is all California. Yeah, Northern California.
Basically, where we haven't been to this. We're on top of a recording studio that we worked out of for a handful of years, off and on. Where we wrote Tidal Wave here.
Yes, we
a
did.
lot of bits of. I think even was this song written here? Part of it, maybe.
Yeah. What else was written here? Well, there's some songs that we. Okay, so we can give a little backstory too about this place. The only reason we were able to afford this place is because we were signed to a record label at the time, and we used that money, rightfully so, to locate this place, to lock this place down, and to stay here for a while and write music. So we wrote, I don't know, a couple dozen songs here.
Yeah.
You know, in the process of trying to make a record. We made a record, but in the process of making a record, and yeah, I mean that. I walked in a little earlier and went upstairs to where we used to be. It looks pretty different. It's still the same place, but I brought back all kinds of feelings, all kind of memories of just like every day I would come here, every single day.
Yeah.
I think I had like Monday, Wednesday, Friday blocked out for a while, so I'd be over here all the time.
The Airship Laboratory.
That's right.
That's what it's called.
The Airship. I think it was also at one point called the Aquarium. Our room was maybe called the Aquarium because it had some fake fish hanging from the ceiling. That's about it. I also think it's probably noteworthy to say that there's a shit ton of stray cats out here.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
A lot of little beasts running around.
It's weird. Like I used to roam these grounds back in the day, and there's just, if you're watching, I'm pointing in the direction. There's a couple buildings over that way. There's an alleyway, and somebody, I don't know who it is, but they're just dumping pounds of cat food into this alleyway, and there's hundreds of cats back there.
They're contributing to the issue. I guess it's not an issue.
Yeah, it might be an issue at this point.
It's just a kitty cat playground.
Yeah, basically, and the cats just walking around spreading diseases, pissing everywhere.
Yeah, I remember when the first time that Skylar and I got money to spend to record, we basically were like, well, we should lock ourselves up at the studio, buy some, not toys, but buy things that can help us record independently.
Yeah.
And so we just would show up here, and it's kind of interesting because it was helpful to have that time to write songs, and ultimately those songs got rejected from the label that we were signed to, and that's what the money was spent for. But
rejected hard.
Yeah, hard.
Hard rejected. And I was here on that phone call.
Really?
Yeah, I was downstairs in our studio when I was on that phone call.
We had a phone call with the guy that kind of ran the label, and it was the first time. It was the first time that we had really received not like unaccepting feedback about what we had done. Like before we had put out, like when we first released music as Midi Matilda, a couple songs, everything that we had done, nothing exploded, but for us, for the the momentum that we had with any other
What do you
band.
mean by exploded?
No, we never had seen as much success as we had seen with the first songs we put out, right? Not that anything was some magical hit song that like took us around the world, but it was the first.
It was a pretty good little push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we hadn't received any type of pushback of trying to, I guess it's making music in a business, not in a business sense, but working with a business
That has expectations.
Yeah.
Expectations on the marketability of the song, the radio friendliness of the song, the production value of the song. And I look back on that time. I remember it was pretty rough going through that. That was a rough, even for me. I don't know how it was for you in terms of length, but it lasted a couple years, like a writer's block that just kind of stuck. I was still writing songs and still working on stuff, but I kept referring back to every little detail that guy said to us and every little thing that we discussed between the two of us and all the expectations. It all amassed at some point to become such a burden, such a weight on my creative shoulders is what I meant to say.
Let me rewind to so Skylar and I we basically had written our first album together, and there's some other stories that we can go into on another time as far as stuff leading up to that, but we had created our first album, seen it all the way through, and at that point everything we had done had been received better than anything that we had done in other bands.
Yeah, nothing was rejected.
Yeah, it was just
dude, people were like, we love Daydreams, we love Red Light District, we love Stranger, and it was just constant good feedback for us.
And then this was the first time that we had basically, I remember what we did was we recorded ourselves having a conversation with them because we were so excited, like, dude, they're gonna love it. We should capture this moment when
we
they're
were so like sure. I remember we stayed up all night the night prior for like 2 nights in a row. I think it was almost like just finishing this thing. Like we got your apartment in Oakland, and I'd be in one room recording vocals and tuning and comping vocals, and you're in the other room doing track stuff, and we're combining and going back and forth. I remember that was intense. Yeah,
and so to put all that energy in, I even have like a photo. I think I posted online of being like, here's the final album, ready to turn it in, completed this, get knocked on your ass.
Can't wait to tell my mom how awesome that phone call went.
Can't wait for an experience that's going to basically not alter the rest of our lives, but basically, what it is, what I think is good about getting, I guess, rejected in a sense, is that it's like a lesson that we had to learn, but we got to learn it before we really fully went for it. It's not like we were on the road and trying to do stuff and being locked up that way. We had never been had any pushback.
Yeah, we'd never had a deadline except for one that we gave ourselves. And then in reflecting back, like what you just said a couple seconds ago, like, when you get rejected super hard or something does not go the way you planned it, 2 things can happen. I mean, it's going to sound very Tony Robbins here, but you can either make something out of it or you can become fearful and scared to try again. And so we were kind of at that I know I was at that crossroads of, dang, did I just get the completely wrong sense of my abilities? Did I get the wrong sense of what we're able to do as a band? And of course now I know I didn't. It was a learning experience, and we've both I'm eternally grateful actually for that phone call.
Yeah,
taught me it was life-changing in that way.
Yeah, that phone call transformed.
A fateful day.
That was fucking the worst thing. But I mean, I don't think we went from like, you're wrong, these songs are good enough. Some of these, have any of those songs come out? Yeah, a little bit here and there.
That's the thing, and this is the hardest thing to do, is to admit that he was somewhat right.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't say somewhat, he was very right about a lot of the things he said. And his A&R guy also said. Another thing to mention, in that whole process, we were being managed by this guy named Steve Brodsky, who passed away, in the process of finishing this record. And he was so crucial in tying all of it together and motivating us and giving us good feedback, and also sort of acting as a liaison between us and the label, so we didn't have to talk to these guys about anything. But at that point, it was like, he died of cancer, and we were on our own. and trying to navigate those waters. We had no idea that we were like a little boat in a huge ocean at that point.
Yeah, that kind of, we were like starting to take off, and then when Steve passed away, it just steered the boat in a different direction for a little while.
Definitely, the winds changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all for the best, though. I mean, I feel like a lot of artists and a lot of bands, like I was saying before, they have to deal with situations like this in the middle of actually having their music be their full-time job and their full-time career, and that's very limiting. We still haven't made it our full-time job to do that, and so we got to learn the lesson behind the scenes. We're not in the public. I mean, I guess kind of in the public eye, because we haven't been able to put out we weren't able to put out music for a handful of years.
Yeah, we went silent for a while. Not in our internal team. We were always busy, always trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
just trying to figure this shit out, you know. And it's one of those things. Being in a band or just being a creative person in general, you know, it's one of those lifelong pursuits. If it's not something you're willing to do, I remember a friend of mine, John Sylvester, said this to me. He's an old mentor of mine. Back in the day, I was sitting on the side of the road. I was just about to start a shift at a club. I've done live sound for many years, and I was outside of this club, and I was lamenting, like, dude, I just hate doing this. And I ended up doing it for like another 6 years. But anyways, like we were talking on the phone. He's like, "Well, man, it's what you chose to do. This is the path you chose." And it's very simple. It's a very simple thing for somebody to say. But at that moment, nobody had ever said it so objectively and so stoically to me. Like, it's what you chose to do. What are you going to do? You know, you could either go become an engineer and you could dedicate yourself to perfecting that, or you could keep suffering for your art. Which one would you rather do? And if you never get paid for it, would you be okay with that? Would you still want to do it? And I had to sit there and I had to work that out. And I decided to become a bum.
Huh. Yeah, I think about that a lot. I would prefer to go through the pain and the journey of seeing through that to reach the other side, because the journey through that to the other side to me, that's the most glorious. Right?
Yeah. Well, and it's even like you can't even recognize the journey when you're doing it. So you have to recognize the only thing you really have if you decide to go down that route as a creative. The only thing you have is your work. That's all there is the process of making it, the process of hating it, then the process of loving it, and the process of going through all that, and then finally letting it go, and then rinse and repeat. Motherfucker, just do it again.
And this song was just released like a dove into the universe.
That's right. It's out of its cage. Like a greyhound.
The can of worms has exploded.
Yeah. I don't even remember why it's called Can of Worms, but kind of fits.
It just
kind of fits.
It's just a total random.
It's another one of those moments where Logan made a track and named it something, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with that word and see what it makes me feel. So the lyrics that isn't actually in the track.
If it was Can of Butts,
I would have felt way more. I would have had a lot more inspiration. It would be nice to have a place like this again.
A studio?
Yeah. Logan and I live in separate places right now, but you know, at some point, and we'll never live together probably again. But it would be nice to have a home base someday.
Yeah.
We've talked about that for a long time, so
that would be sweet.
Still saving up my lunch money.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go and buy the song 1,000 times over to help us do that.
Please, just go.
Just set up your what's that band? Wolf Puck? No, what are they?
Wolfpack. That's how I say their name. I think it's Wolf now.
The only thing that I know of that band is that I know that they're all like super players, but I remember they did the first thing I heard of them is when they did that marketing bit where they made a silent album and then got people just to let it loop overnight so they would just generate money. That's genius.
It's genius.
Sneaky.
And at that point, they had a bunch of people listening to them too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. I actually did sound for them once.
Oh really?
Yeah, brick and mortar. They had this old ass Leslie organ that we kept it was like at the bar or some shit, and it was like a separate table sometimes, and then if the band was important enough, the club promoter would force me to put it on stage. It was like 1,000 pounds. It was so hard. It was hard to move.
Oh boy,
those guys rocked the shit out of it though, I'll say that much.
Rockin' Wolfpack.
Yeah.
We should try to get that guy to play bass on a song.
I was just thinking that. We know some other bass players too that we love, but that guy, he's fancy finger boy.
Yeah,
he's fancy. He's prolific. on the bass. So, anyhow, this place carries a lot of memories for us, and just up the street, actually, that direction. If you're not watching, I'm pointing south right now. Is where we went to college, Expression College for Digital Arts.
Yes.
For digital farts. Yeah.
Yeah. This is out in Richmond, California. This is kind of one of the only experiences I have out here is coming to the studio.
Yeah.
I kind of just cruised through because when we were going to college, I was living at home at my mom's, and I would basically just commute every day through Richmond to get to college, get to Expression, and just drive right by the studio every single day and not realize it was right here.
I just think there's just a dump over here. Just a big old dump with a bunch of rusty metal and stray cats, but actually there's a fancy smancy studio right over here. You called it a legacy studio, right? It's one of the legacy studios that's actually still in operation out here.
Yeah, I think isn't like Tupac recorded here?
Oh, I don't know. I think if I'm not mistaken, this used to be Metallica's studio. Didn't Metallica own this place at one point?
I don't think so.
I thought they did.
I don't think so.
Maybe I've been dreaming that to be the case.
I just remembered a funny story about this studio. This was an incredible little moment. You were there for this. Okay, so there's this guy there's this guy that is on YouTube called Dan the Life Regenerator. Okay. This guy is an organic fruits, vegetables, raw promoter and enthusiast. Okay.
Logan went through a very strong Dan the Life Generator.
A juicing phase.
Regenerator phase.
Raw vegan phase.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy, I was following him on YouTube, and I love this guy. The coolest personality was just this like Jesus-looking figure. They would stand out in front of his trailer and juice and get super amped on life.
And he was a YouTuber, right?
Type in Dan the Life Regenerator, rewind back to some of his early days, and you will get inspired. You will go buy some celery.
Go buy some celery. Yeah.
Anyways,
you remove those toxins.
So this dude, I was really loving his stuff, and one day online he posted something on Facebook because I knew that he was living in Oakland. He's like kind of lived all over the place. I knew that he was living in Oakland, and he said, hey, I knew he like kind of like played the djembe or something, and he said, hey, anybody in the Bay Area have some type of place a week that I could play some music at? And I saw it, and I would think it was posted like 5 minutes ago, and so I just jumped on it, and I said, I've got it, dude. Come to my studio. I've got all the instruments. Let's do it. And they got back to me, and I was like, holy shit, this is happening. And so we set up a time to meet here at the studio.
To meet Dan the Life Jesus.
And this is someone that to me was he was a YouTube celebrity in my mind. I mean, the dude had like probably over 100,000 followers.
Sure.
And I'm like, I just got him just in time. The dude shows up in his truck with the veggie stencils on the side. I mean, it's his business, is kind of promoting the raw lifestyle. This dude shows up. He's a sweet guy. He brought juice for us to sip on.
Yeah.
And we went to the studio, and I have footage of this. I have footage of this on the phone. I should find that and try to play that.
You should, yeah.
And we jam with this dude on the drums and just had kind of a drum circle situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember sitting there saying, dude, Dan the Life Regenerator is jamming
He's
with
right
us
there.
right now.
That was sick.
We're drinking juice with him.
Yeah.
That crazy?
It was crazy.
I love that.
It was very crazy. It was very. It was cool on you to reach out so directly and just be like, yep, let's do this. Brought him over, but I don't remember. I was there. I remember jamming a little bit. But I don't really remember the jam session, if it was any good or not.
Let's be honest, it wasn't.
I don't think it was memorable. That's why.
It was not. It was not.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of a good drum circle before.
Yeah. Oh, really? A good drum circle?
Yeah.
Like, when I think drum circle, I think like over at Ashby BART Station on Saturdays, they just have like this massive, like, you're allowed to just show up and just bring your hand drum of choice, and like there's like one guy who kind of like runs the whole thing and has a beat going. Everybody just kind of builds it around him, and you've got your people over here who suck. They're like scattered amongst each other, like really bad at it, and then you got like a couple dudes holding it down.
I need to start a drum circle that is You have to earn your way in.
Yeah,
It's not the peaceful
There's an
kind.
audition.
It's not the gentle. Everyone gets to say. It's
Yeah,
like no.
yeah.
This one's a little bit more exclusive.
Yeah, this is a closed circle.
This is a closed drum circle, boys and girls.
You want to get in here, you gotta at least be able to do 4 on the floor.
We'll just keep
be able to
just
give us a little-
keeping in time. I think the thing with the problem that usually comes with more than one drummer, literally on a drum set, 2 of those at once, is because when one person they don't line up and one person doesn't support the other person, it starts to fall apart very quickly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you got your superstars. Everybody's a superstar, right? Everybody's got their like, oh, well, I've been playing drums. Like, listen to this. Everybody's over here is like, oh, that guy could do that too. Do it better. And then
everyone-
all of a sudden,
yeah.
it's just like this unsyncopated mush.
Yeah, everybody needs to
Everybody hates each
dumb their performance down,
Yeah.
way down,
Yeah.
in order for it to sound good. That's why it makes more sense to
Exactly.
have a drum set with somebody that's like a conga wind chime
Yeah.
guy to support the drummer.
You literally have to be comfortable or good with just sitting there and playing, and your part is bop bop.
Yeah.
You're going bop 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 bop, and that's all you do for like 2 hours. You got to be willing to do that. You got to be willing to get into that zone. If not, you can't get in the circle. Sorry.
It's like the dude of the Dirty Heads. Like that guy just supports Matt, the drummer.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
He just is like
He's amazing.
All he does
he's
is
a percussionist. Yeah.
But but he's probably a drummer as well. But
Sure.
his role is just supporting the guy that's the drummer in the band.
Yeah, and doing shakers, and timbales, and all kinds of cool stuff. That would be a fun position to be in, though, because it's kind of like you are the drummer in a sense, but a little bit of the pressure's been removed.
Yeah.
And now all your real job is to add that sizzle, to add that extra sauce on top.
We should hold auditions to have somebody do that.
Yeah. Let's start auditions first. There'll be the drum circle,
Should we
and
call?
then whoever is the best in the drum circle can be our percussionist.
Should we call Dan?
Yeah, we should.
I think he's
We should
living in
see what
Hawaii
Dan's
now.
doing.
Dan, the life
We can make
regenerator.
it
that
work.
is.
We can make it work. That guy's healthy as fuck. We need to be around him. He's vibrant. His vibrational levels are substantial.
He has green juice flowing through his veins.
Yeah, I don't think he has blood anymore.
I think he pees
It's just
carrot
onion
juice.
juice and coconut milk.
He pees lemon and coconut water.
Yeah. If I haven't mentioned this before, Logan and I are really into poo-poo and pee-pee jokes. So just strap yourself in. Yeah.
Trap yourself in with pee-pee and poo-poo. No, we should call Dan the life regenerator. He can bring us some juice. We could turn the glass jars into a couple of instruments.
Yeah, a couple pee-pee jars. Yeah, I mean, we should hit up and see what Dan's up to. Just at the very least, see if he remembers us.
I bet that a dude like that has a lot of experiences with random people.
Probably. Yeah.
A lot of little like nuggets.
Yeah, just always people reaching out to him. He's moving around. I don't even remember. Did he have a girlfriend or a wife or any of that?
I think he has a girlfriend
Yeah.
who did.
Can't remember if she was there or not.
No, she wasn't.
Okay. Well,
Just hit, that was what was so. It was just cool to turn him into a human. This
Yeah.
dude's getting out of his truck
yeah.
and he's coming over to hang out with us. And
He's
this
getting
is
out of his
was a,
camper.
This was a dude met through YouTube.
Yeah. I guess I have another funny story. It has nothing to do with Dan,
Sure.
but just up the street over to north of here, when I first graduated college, I got a job doing sound for gospel churches. And there was this one church that I got hired to do every Sunday, and they met in I think it was like a Holiday Inn Express like meeting room every Sunday, and I would go in there and I would set up speakers and shit. And it was intense. It was an intense group. These guys would like start shaking. The preacher, the reverend, would like start speaking in tongues and shouting, and like he'd walk over to people and touch their forehead and they'd fall and like start spasming on the ground, and people were shouting and screaming. And
Sounds awesome.
and this one lady, I remember one lady ran straight through the freaking separator for the room. You know how those rooms can be separated by like an air wall?
Yeah.
She fucking went right into it and dented the shit out of it, just like right into it, and just ran the other side of the room, and she kept going like nothing ever happened.
Well, if you have the Lord's energy flowing through you, anything can happen.
I don't know if that was the Lord's energy. Yeah, that was somebody else's. that was just straight up like that was just hype. That's all it was. It was just hype, in my opinion. Of course, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And then one time, I remember the last day I worked there, they tried to pour oil on my head. I was like at the mixing console, and ladies like going up to people, and they had these canola oil.
Yeah.
That they would pour into these semi-decorative like squeeze cans or squeeze things, and they just like just go over to people and just douse them, just like just all over their head. Not even a little bit. Some you go to Catholic churches or like some churches, they'll take a little bit on their finger, put a little cross on your forehead, something nice and acceptable. These people, they literally were taking like oil showers, and she comes up to me and just starts to pour it on my head, and I like grabbed her hand, and I just had enough. I was like, nope, you're not doing it. You're not pouring that shit on my head. And then never worked there again.
You mean they kicked you out for that?
No, I just told the guy that was like booking me there. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Oil showers.
Bunch of swindlers over there. Anyways, Richmond, it's an interesting spot. This whole area, this whole Bay Area in general, but I guess I'm speaking more specifically about this area. Is like a lot of hidden gems out here. You wouldn't expect to take a ride off the freeway on Bayview Avenue and see like people making super intense Burning Man sculptures and like these beautiful pieces of art. You've got, and also I guess it's just super cheap out here, right? So you can actually make a living doing that stuff.
You often find that in the East Bay, the Bay Area, is a handful of people making these creations for Burning Man. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
I have actually shot a music video for a friend's band maybe 9 years ago. One of the guys from this band called The Matches. We shot a music video at this giant warehouse, and what everybody was doing.
Is it American Steel?
It was American Steel.
I lived right across the street from there for like 4 years.
So American Steel is the spot where they kind of, everyone has their own little space, and they do Burning Man creations in a safe environment.
Giant sculptures of people made of wood that are eventually going to probably be lit on fire or something, but they're beautiful. Giant spinning rocks that are being hung from cranes that are just decorative. It's pretty tight. I've never been to Burning Man.
Neither have I.
Yeah. I'm still interested to go before it becomes too much of something, which it probably already has, but
people would say it already has. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people that go to Burning Man. It seems all cool minus the dust.
Minus the
swamp
what are they
ass.
called? The fly ticks. They call tick fleas. Something that's like two horrible things combined together is this little bug that's like very rampant out there.
I've been out there before. I've been out there about a couple days past Burning Man being done, where they were just finishing cleaning up. When I was working with a friend of mine, filming a project for, I think it was Intel, and all these students were shooting off rockets into the sky, and so we camped out there in a camper for a couple days, and so I got to feel what the dust was. Was it the Black Rock City Desert, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a cool space, though. It'd be awesome to film some stuff out there.
Yeah, very flat. Just flat.
Yeah, expansive. Yeah. We should do one of these out there.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad idea.
Absolutely. Just make sure we have like flea tick spray.
We should do one of these at Burning Man.
Okay. And then light the table on fire.
Yeah. Well, dude, what if we got a table just for that? And we brought it there and did that. That would be...
I'm down.
That would be tight.
How about we buy a new table and burn the old one?
Let's do that once we get the opportunity to play a show at Burning Man.
Oh, wow. I don't know. Do shows happen at Burning Man like that?
Yeah, Tycho plays every year.
But he's kind of like a DJ sometimes,
just
too.
He sets a vibe.
Yeah, he's a vibe maker. We're
Yes.
fucking singing sing-along pop songs out there. Maybe, though. We could probably pull it off if we were to prepare for it.
We should try to make, like, I was talking with you about this the other day about setting up almost constraints for segments of time to try to make, not to try to make particular music, but to try to set limitations so the music is naturally forced into a particular area. Let's say the music can never be too fast. It has to stay below a particular BPM, or it has to be above a particular BPM. Or what if it was like, all the songs that we're going to do have to work as instrumental tracks only for like a couple months.
Totally down. I'm totally down.
And then we could have a set that
singing.
That could be cool enough to work next to Tycho.
Yeah.
Or opening for Tycho.
Yeah. Or Tycho opening for us someday.
You're thinking too big, man.
Yeah,
No,
you're
I'm just
right.
kidding.
My dreams are too big.
I think
make them smaller.
I want to say we tried to like get in touch with him to make some artwork.
I think we did. And he never got back to us, did he?
Yeah, where we got denied.
Yeah, I think our manager reached out to him at one point.
We'll be
important.
We'll be friends with him at some point.
I hope so. I really
I'm
hope so.
putting that out there right now.
I've been listening to Tycho since I was in high school. Like my senior year of high school. My senior year of high school.
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
Past his prologue. 2011, I think. So wait, if I graduated, maybe it was 2000 maybe it was post-college. I'm thinking the wrong schooling. It was post-college. It was like my last year of college, and I was living at my parents' house, and listened to it every day, every single day for like a year.
Our Midiots are a fan of Tycho also.
Oh yeah, our Midiots love Tycho.
Are you guys are both fans of them, aren't you?
Yeah, I think they are.
We love Tycho, man. He drops the vibes. He is a vibe maker.
Yeah, he's the vibe king. The godfather of vibe.
The godfather of vibe in our eyes.
Yeah. One of these days.
He lives around here.
Yeah, does he live in Berkeley now? Still, or is he in a city?
I think he lives in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think he used to live in Berkeley now.
Or
He
the
lives
East
in
Bay, I
city.
don't know.
Yeah, he lives in my heart. That's where he lives.
Go check out Tycho if you haven't heard of Tycho before. We give mad inspiration from him
Yeah.
and his little vibe nuggets.
Little soft synths.
Different from New Villager, but combine this together and you got the idea.
Yeah, that would be like a super group that I don't know if I'd survive. I'd be so hyped. I would just pass out and die.
What if we were able to do a collaborative track between New Villager, Tycho, and us? That would be sweet.
That would be sweet. Although I'm worried that Tycho wouldn't like us and New Villager wouldn't like Tycho and Tycho wouldn't like New Villager and we wouldn't like New Villager.
Would
if we
everybody
met
be
them.
too cool for each
I
other?
think so, except for us. Because we're like not that cool. We like everybody. So I
Maybe
feel like the less people you like, the cooler you are.
Maybe they would like us.
Yeah, maybe. We could just make everybody smoke salvia. That'll be fine. That should help.
We were watching these videos on the way over here today about what's the dude's name on YouTube?
Big money salvia.
What's
Big money salvia.
what's his name on YouTube?
Well, the YouTube channel is called Internet Comment Etiquette.
Okay, and this dude, I don't know how old this video is. It's probably 10 years old, but he was making these videos called, it's like gardening on salvia. And he would just sit and start to, right, we're going to take this flower right here. We're going to plant it in some dirt.
Yeah.
And then we're going to just about 2 inches down. We're going to do this,
yeah.
that, and the other, all these delicate things. But first we're going to smoke some salvia.
Yeah.
And this dude, he smokes it and he just basically passes out
Yeah,
right
he
next
smokes
to
and
the
he's like, okay. And you see his body just collapse.
Go type, if you haven't seen this, go type this in on YouTube, gardening on salvia. It'll lead you to driving on salvia.
His name's Eric. Shout out to Eric. I love your shit, man.
Yeah, he's cool.
I found you like about a year ago. I love your channel.
Subscribe to him and then subscribe to us right after.
You know what? Subscribe to us first.
Okay, yeah, do
Yeah,
that.
subscribe to us first. Smash the ding-a-dong.
The ding-a-ling.
Yeah, color in the blue, if you know what I'm saying.
What's a way that you could turn the subscribe button into a little something that would make you slightly uncomfortable? Flip, hit that ding-a-ling.
Yeah, just like just take your finger and touch that keyboard.
Do you have any subscriptions on that you get the notification on
The bell notification?
Yeah, on YouTube.
No, I actually know that's a lie. There is one, and it's the least cool thing ever. But
Tell me.
it's cryptocurrency related. Nobody's gonna give a shit, especially now. Yeah, but altcoin buzz. I listen to those guys like every other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they keep me informed. You know,
I do the
expanding my empire.
I got a couple of them. I like pretty much delete it the second it comes in, and it just
Yeah.
builds up my inbox. But it's
Yeah,
nice.
Just floods your phone with stuff you're not going to watch.
Pretty much.
So I subscribe. I went through and I thinned out my subscriptions recently, though. I had to unsubscribe to a bunch of stuff that I don't watch anymore.
Don't say what.
I'm not going to. Oh, I won't.
Yeah.
I won't say it, but it's something I think it's healthy to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that the other day as far as going on Instagram.
Yeah, I did it on Instagram
and
too.
just
It's a good
clear
idea.
and sometimes if I go onto somebody's Instagram profile
Yeah.
and I'll see, I'm like, holy shit, they've taken away every single person that they're following. I'm like, that sounds scary, but also very refreshing.
Totally. I think I started my Instagram many years ago before I was in a relationship, and so I was just following hundreds of hot chicks.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Just hundreds of hot, I don't know, hundreds, but
Thousands,
maybe. I wouldn't
thousands.
be pushing it if I said I was following hundreds of Insta models and chicks, but I'm not about that anymore.
I have a funny story with
Not
the
about
first
that life.
with the first usage of Instagram. So when we were first starting off, we did a little band photo shoot in San Francisco. We took a couple photos of ourselves just setting up a camera on a tripod on the ground, and then we had Jen, my wife, come and take some photos of us down at the Embarcadero. We're just kind of cruising around. You can find these photos
I
online.
remember that I was wearing my Loch Ness Monster shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
And we and we took these photos in front of the photos that we took that day. I remember this one in particular where we're sitting up against a wall, and I remember Instagram had just come out. This is in 2010 or 2011, and so I thought it was just an app for editing photos. And so if I go back, or I went back a couple years ago, and the first like 15 photos on our Instagram were just photos of me trying to like edit the photo to make it look good.
Amazing. I have to interrupt and just dinner's here.
Dinner?
Nice.
Okay, so
Hey.
Egan has just brought us a pizza.
Let's put a
delivered.
face to the name real quick. Oh! Bro, you are perfect.
Egan, say hi.
You're a perfect person.
Hey.
That's incredible.
I just want to make sure this is cool.
Oh,
This
dude,
is-
this is
this
so
is
cool.
absolutely
I'm so
cool.
cool with this. I'm going to put some Parmesan on this half.
Yeah, do it.
So a pizza has been delivered.
Yeah.
Egan has been delivered.
Egan delivered as usual.
I'll take the mic. Wait.
Oh, here you go.
You Parmesan it.
Skylar's gonna munch, and I'm gonna talk to Egan for a couple moments.
All right.
So, Egan, how have you been?
Been good, man. This pizza delivery came right on time, and I'm happy about it. This sunset, it's killing it.
It's
we're crushing
beautiful
it,
up here, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember first coming over here in the studio, rolling up.
Yeah.
I think I was coming back from the Philippines because I used to live there.
Uh huh.
And you guys were like, come over to the studio. I was like, what? You guys have a studio? And we rolled in. You guys had like a nice room with a booth and everything. And I was like, damn, these guys are coming far.
Killing it.
Yeah, you guys came far. Yeah. And then, now you guys are just working on your house. It's kind of nice, but it's not the same professional vibe.
Well, you know, but there's something cool about having a studio, having a studio set up at least at your home allows you to dive into creative worlds in your underwear that you normally wouldn't bring to a particular, to somebody else's room.
Right in the morning. I've been over at your house when you've gotten up, taken a shower, and you're on the computer making some beats in a bath towel. And I'm like peeping in your room like, he loves what he does.
That's awesome.
I'm inspired.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always kind of think I have a little notification on my phone that happens in the morning that says, if you're not in your PJs working on as Midi Matilda, then you're not doing it right. And that hits every morning. I go, yeah, that's right, which means I should be up on the computer in the studio working, moving things forward. And if I'm not, because that's always,
So that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Working on stuff that you love to do all the time. And the process. It's about the process, really.
Process.
Exactly.
I hate when
And being as naked as possible.
Yeah, I hate hearing that, but it's one of those. Cliches are always right. It's
Right.
I'm going to take a slice.
Egan's gonna take a slice of pizza.
Land a drone.
Egan,
Thanks, buddy.
it's been awesome having you on the Midi Moments experience of a lifetime. Yeah, hit it with some Parmesan cheese. Yeah, get that.
Hold up.
Dude, I'm crazy with the Parmesan cheese. Oh damn, dude,
It's
damn.
all over my sleeve.
I go a
I have
little.
to work on that.
I go a little heavy on the parm. Egan, it's been fun. Bye bye. That was Egan.
I'll just close this up real quick.
Egan, the eye in the sky, eagle eye. We were trying to figure out a name for Egan. What should that be? Eagle eye in the sky.
I've been calling him Eagle Eye, Eagle. I've been calling him Eagle for a long time, actually.
Egon. I call him Egon.
Egon.
It's because someone once called me Logon, and I transferred that to Egon.
That's right.
Egan.
I don't
is,
have an on name, so you can't do that for my name, but
Egan
I feel a little left out of that club.
Well, that's okay. You have your own team. Tyler's. You and the tie-ties.
Yeah, I'm in the Tyler Club.
That's what people call you. Like they think that
Pretty
your
much
name is
everybody in
that.
the world thinks I'm Tyler.
Yeah.
I also know a guy named Kyler.
That's
Yeah.
just
Isn't that weird?
That's poor.
Just, you can take anything Eiler, and, it's like Byler, Myler, Skyler, Tyler. Tyler's the original, though.
All right, I'm gonna eat a piece of pizza. You
Yeah.
you talk for me so I don't talk into this microphone.
Okay, I can try and do something like that.
Talk at me.
Yeah, actually, to be completely honest, guys, this whole thing we've been doing is just a big Mountain Mike's pizza commercial. So, Mountain Mike's pizza, the way it ought to be. Yeah, man. I mean, what else can I talk about? I there's not a whole lot of food out in this area. I remember that. Like, I remember trying to find like a nice place to go get a burrito or a nice place to go get a Sammy. And you got to drive kind of far, which in itself is kind of nice because it's a very isolated place out here. You know what? I kind of have like a feeling that I prefer a more isolated place to be creative now. I don't know. It used to feel like, man, I got to be somewhere where it's super active. There's lots of things happening. Like I could literally walk out of the studio and there's like people walking around and airplanes flying around. But you know, I kind of feel like now I'd like to be as far away from that as possible. But the problem with that is that I'm far away from the people I need to be close to.
I like the idea of always changing up where you're working on something.
I like that too.
Like, because when it's something weird that I've had since I was really young. I would take speakers and get as many speakers that we had in our house and put them in my room and create the ultimate station. I would taking the VHS deck, putting the TV on it, maybe the N64, getting speakers here in front of me, speakers behind me, and then I would just sit on the bed and I'd be like, this is the perfect viewing experience right now. Yeah. And so when I go, if we're setting up at a studio, if we like are in a house or something, working on new music, the experience of plugging everything in and getting it booted up to me is very inspirational. It's very strange. It's like from childhood, but I love doing that.
That is tight. I love doing that too.
You're like ready, like we're ready to create now.
Yeah. Feels like a little laboratory you just set up with all your stuff ready to discover something new. Hey, can I show you something important?
Yeah. Nice belt buckle.
Thanks, dude. Do you like that?
I do.
Do you know what that is?
Is it a DeLorean?
That's a T-Bird, bro.
Oh, wait, a T-Bird. Dude, I should know that because
that's why I'm showing you.
Because I had a Camaro in high school, and that looks similar.
It's a 1990 T-Bird.
Nice.
Yeah, I just thought you'd appreciate that.
That's cool.
Tell me about your T-Bird, man, because that's the fucking coolest car ever.
No, it wasn't a T-Bird. My sister had a white T-Bird. I had an 85 mayonnaise-colored Camaro.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Yeah, flash that on the screen. Bam. Okay, off.
Beautiful car. Beautiful car.
It's
now flash the car that I had, a Hyundai Accent 2002. Go.
Flash.
Not so beautiful.
Back.
Not so great.
With the power of editing. Yeah, we had subs.
Yeah.
Did you have a sub in that car?
I didn't in that car, but in my truck, my very first car, I went through 3 different types of subwoofers. First subwoofer was the X-Blode by Sony subs. 2 12s in the back seat, just shoved behind my chair because there's nowhere else to put it. And it was just way too much. It was so much that my car would shut off sometimes because I didn't have a capacitor. So it would just like suck all the energy out of my battery, and then I just wouldn't have a car anymore to drive. So then I took that out and I put in another really shitty little 10-inch sub that was no good. Got rid of that trash. Eventually landed on something called a bazooka tube. Have you heard of bazooka tubes?
Absolutely.
Oh God, those are dope. I actually still want one. I would love to put a bazooka tube in the back of my car.
It just sounds cool.
In the trunk, because all you need is that little extra, just a little more. You know what I mean? You don't need it to be like the dudes rolling down West Oakland, just like their car. This is what it sounds like when you drive by their car. It sounds like this.
Yeah.
But when you're driving by, you're just like, maybe it sounds dope in there, but to the rest of the world, it just sounds like your car is
farting
taking a huge
on everybody.
Shit. Always, yeah.
Did you have any song that when you would go to check? I mean, would you have any song that you would test on the sub to see how good it sounded? You
know, I didn't listen to a lot of hip hop or rap. In fact, I would venture to say all I listened to was hardcore at that point. But I did listen to Eminem. I would listen to Eminem when I wanted to impress my friends with my sub. I would pretend that I loved hip hop. I did love rap. I loved Eminem specifically, but that was about it.
I loved Eminem. I mean, I still do, but I grew up on listening to Eminem with my dad.
Yeah, man. Shh, I did not. My dad. I don't even know if he knows who Eminem is, but my dad introduced me to some great music back in the day. Yeah, very formative stuff like Michael Jackson. And, there was this weird artist that he used to play all the time. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I think it's oh God, because I'm trying to think of it now. I can't remember, but it's just this obscure like 80s. Like he was one of the first people to make sort of like hip hop sample remix dance music. It
Yeah.
was like it would have like a sample of a popular singer here. It'd be like na 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 na, yeah, and it's like some other artist over here saying something. I have to find some of that and show it to you. It's weird stuff, but that like literally I listened to that music for like 5 years of my beginning of my life. It's like, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, all 5 years.
I very much formed my musical taste.
I'm gonna grab another slice here.
Don't chew into the microphone or people will lose their shit.
I'll try. Some people might be into some ASMR
Here,
stuff.
I got a story. So, no, that's not ASMR. Oh God, no.
I'm pretty sure that's
No,
ASMR,
no.
bro.
So what was I talking about? Listening to music. Oh yeah. So okay, you know who introduced me to? We always talk about Blink-182 being a very formative band.
Yeah.
But
I
my
know,
dad is who
I know.
introduced me to Blink-182.
That's tight.
When I was in 6th grade, my dad and sister showed up at the house that we lived in a brand new Indigo Xterra. What CDs were in that Xterra? Blink-182's Enema of the State and Lit. Well, I don't know the name of the album, but the Lit album.
It was tight.
And so I didn't had it. There wasn't a band that I had fallen in love with until I listened to that.
180 fucking 2.
Yeah.
For Logan and I, and possibly
Chew it. No, microphone down. Chew it. I'll narrate.
Sorry, everybody.
Silas chewing.
I have horrible manners. Blink-182, I think for Logan and I, may be the most important band to have ever existed in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like Travis Barker made me want to play drums. Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus both introduced me to like what it was like to not be religious, because I grew up super freaking religious, and it just like pushed all of my boundaries all at once. It just like literally took me from being like at this like lower level of consciousness, sort of like just like a zombie, to, oh my God, I want this. I want more. And then just like it led me into, well, essentially where I'm at today, I think.
Yeah.
Shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker. See, that's why I love pee-pee poo-poo jokes.
Yeah. I had a studio that my dad basically built for, well, a couple of different studios that he built for me at our house, and we basically would take Blink-182 artwork and plaster the walls, flash the images now. Thank you. Take a look at that. Look at all those Blink images. Flashback. Okay.
I love those images.
Danny and I would just play Blink-182 songs nonstop. That's all we would play. We'd write a couple of our own songs, but we were in love, and it was very formative as far as my musical taste and just everything about that playing styles.
You know, actually, I'm thinking about it. Before I discovered Blink-182, I discovered a band called Reliant K.
I know them.
Remember them?
They're Jesus band.
They were a Jesus band, but they were just on the cusp of being dope in terms of like everything besides the sonic quality of the band, which was basically just pop punk but done really well.
I remember their production was really cool.
It was really good production, and I remember the lead singer would play guitar without a pick, and he would do these really sick riffs with his thumb. He's like, and I was like, how the fuck are you doing that and not like slicing open your thumb every time? So I started not playing with a pick because of that.
Thick fingers.
That's right, he's got some girthy fingers. Anyways, I found Reliant K, and then they led me to Blink-182. My parents wouldn't let me listen to swear words on records, so I had to have all the non-swear word versions of the records, like Limp Bizkit. I thought that they were just pauses in the record for years.
What?
Yeah, isn't that stupid? I didn't realize that they were actually bleeping out swear words. Kid Rock. I got Kid Rock's record, and my mom found it. It was like an uncensored record, and she made me throw it away. And then I didn't actually throw it away. I like took the CD out of the case and threw the case away and kept the CD. Super rebellious.
That's crazy. But I literally would jam out. Like one of my dad's favorite artists was Eminem. When I was in, I guess, early high school, maybe even 8th grade or so, we would jam that driving around. Yeah.
That's super dope, dude. My parents are great. I love my parents. They're both super cool people. But yeah, I remember that was something. That was really something. And then what led after that? What came after Blink-182? It was literally like Limp Bizkit and fucking, oh man, that was so long ago. I'm trying to remember like what the progression was of stuff that we were listening to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Blink-182 forever. Yellow Card's one of those bands that like most people hate, but I loved a lot. I thought they were super dope.
Well, they're no longer a band, but
no
rest
longer
in
band.
peace, Yellow Card.
Yeah.
We need to wrap this thing up.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it is. That is what she said. And I'm going to crack this this tape out of this cassette player that we've been recording to.
Okay.
What do we
Nice.
have here? Boom.
I don't know. What is that?
Check out the artwork
Is
on
that
this.
some kind of music playing? I don't know. What is that? Is that like a hard drive or something?
The number one original copy of Can of Worms.
Yeah. If you're not watching this right now, we have a little custom cassette tape specifically with this song on it. Yeah. What are we doing with this thing?
We're going
What
to
is
take this thing, this cassette, chasing the stream. There's little nuggets that you'll take a look at the artwork for this when you can. If you're not watching this video, you'll see these little bits that are tied in with the song and where we are right now, actually. Richmond, California. Pretty cool. We're going to take this thing and we're going to leave it somewhere in the area here in this here bazooka tube.
The world's tiniest bazooka tube.
And what you should do, if you're interested, come find this thing and listen to it.
What are we doing? We're gonna hide it, right? We're gonna hide it, and actually, we're gonna be hiding it in this area.
Yeah.
This is definitely a good area to be hiding it. So, I'd say it's pretty important for you and your life and life decisions to decide to come and try to find this thing because, A, it's dope to go on adventures and find things and find buried treasure, but also because if you do and you find it, take a picture of yourself, a little selfie with this tube or with the tape in your hand and your face.
Yeah.
Send us that picture, and we will reward you by placing your name. Your immortal glory will be solidified by placing your name on this table
With next to my pizza slice.
next to a greasy stain from Logan's pizza slice that he put right on the wood. Yep. We don't really have any rules about the table besides like trying to make it last as long as possible. So. Yeah, it's going to have some love on it, some stains.
Thank you, Buzz at Spider Legs for helping us make this table
That's right,
that we are sitting at right now.
Definitely. And thank you to the dudes down to Lee and everybody down at Whaleberg Kombucha for helping us laser print this beautiful design.
There's a lot of folks that have been helping us allowed to record this and make this happen. Thank you to the Midiots. Thank you to Egan for bringing the pizza. Emmanuel.
Yeah. Oh, Neil. We can't forget Neil.
Neil.
The manager of the studio we're currently sitting on top of.
The Airship Laboratory.
That's right. The man, the myth, the legend. The Neil. Yeah. Well, maybe one of these days they'll create like an apartment complex across the street and totally ruin this area. But for now, it's beautiful and it's isolated and there's cats everywhere. You should definitely come check it out.
All right, let's go. Thank you for listening. Let's go and hide this
right.
thing somewhere. You come and find it.
All right, let's go.